Welcome back to your 10-Minute Executive Coach. I'm Paul Burke with Business Acceleration, and this channel is dedicated to the men and women who lead. Whether it's in business or nonprofit, leadership is a critical task, a challenging task. And whether your team is small or large, there are skills we all need to lead well. Let's get into episode 9, and really it's going to be the next few episodes, which deal in managing direct reports. Now, I usually deal with senior executives, but the things we're going to discuss in the next few episodes, I really want to focus on any person who's leading people. It's a difficult task at all levels, especially for new managers. All of a sudden, they've got people responsibility. They're learning how to do this. To senior executives who have pressures coming at them from every angle, but forget that they have people they need to lead. The next few episodes are really dedicated to that task and try to find some tools and practices that'll make us better. Today, I really want to talk about intentional leadership. It's as soon as you get into that new role, or as soon as you suddenly have a group of people you're managing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know how many it may be. We need to be intentional about this. This is just not another side job. You have a lot of other responsibilities, but we need to take that role very seriously. And how do we do that? First off, we have to know ourselves. I think anybody who gets into a manager position and hasn't done a personality test or hasn't learned a little bit about their manner of operation. I love the Myers-Briggs. I'm an ESTP. I learn all those things, strengths and weaknesses that affect how I impact others, how I'm perceived with others. 6 Working Genius is a great assessment I use to help learn about how I work, how I love to work, and how I don't love to work. Learn about yourself as a leader first. Understand who you are. It isn't all bad. You don't have to get fixed. But what you want to do is understand who you are. 2, we need to get to know the people we lead. Now, we do a lot of training at Business Acceleration with managers about employee engagement. And it's very simple. And there's 3 steps that you can take to help improve employee engagement. The first is to eliminate the anonymity. People don't want to be anonymous cogs in a wheel in an organization or anywhere. And it's up to managers and leaders to get to know their people. Don't create that anonymous situation for your people. They're just there. They do the paper. I don't know anything about them. Get to know them. 2, those people need to understand that their role is relevant in the organization. So as a leader, you need to make sure you understand, 1, what they do and how it impacts the organization overall. And 3, share that with your direct report. Hey, this is what you do. It's very important. I appreciate what you do. And your quality of work helps us here, helps this customer here, helps this here, wherever it may be. Understand that that role that they have is relevant to the bigger picture. And 3rd, we need to make sure that everyone can tell whether they're succeeding or not without you being there, patting them on the back or kicking them in the butt. And that's a metric situation. Yeah, you can over-metric a role or people, but I think it's important to have a number for every role. Everyone should be able to look at a week and say, hey, I had a great week this week, or I fell short, I need to pick it up, or this quarter's been great, this month has been great, or whatever you're doing. There needs to be a way for them to account and say, hey, part of it's clarity on knowing what there is expected of them, and 2 is having a measurement so they can say, yay, I did the right thing. That in measurement it happens way too often. I hear from managers how she's not doing what I want. She's not doing this. She's not doing this. Well, did you tell them what you want them to do? And did you tell them how we're going to measure you against that task? That's the metric. It's a communication piece and it's a metric. Again, 3 steps to getting to know your people and getting to know and be a better intentional leader. 1, don't let them become anonymous. Get to know them. They need to be known. We all need to be known. This is not just on a junior level or a direct labor level. This is important at all levels of our organization. Senior executives can get lost and be anonymous and cogs in a wheel, and it just makes your job suck. Get to know your people. 2, make sure they understand that their role is critical in the organization. What they do matters. That's important for them to know. It's also important for you to know as a leader in a direct report. Why do I have this person reporting to me? Why is this important? Because that role is critical to this picture. I have people say, well, what if the role isn't critical to any picture? Eliminate the role. If you have a role, it should be critical to the organization. And 3rd, let's create metrics and communication so that that person reporting to you knows they're doing well at any time. Can stop and say, I had a great day, I had a great week, I had a great month, I had a great quarter, I know it because of this, this, and this. That needs to be clear, it needs to be concise. I see people get angry. And I had someone tell me they didn't like the job I was doing, but when I was a sales manager and I'm looking at the numbers and hold it, my numbers are up, this is good, they just didn't like me, but they never told me what their metric was. And that created a terrible situation for me personally until I moved out of that role. That's critical. Know yourself, know your people. The 3rd step is to build systems to manage people. And I'm not talking major, big old bureaucratic HR, 50-page systems. There's 3 things you need to do. 1, you need to meet with your direct reports once a week. I know it seems like another meeting. It's terrible. I know. You see my people all the time. I see them in the office. I walk by. I talk to them. No. An intentional meeting with them about them. It doesn't have to be long. You can schedule it for a certain amount, and usually it's shorter as you go along. But you're going to ask them, what are they working on? Where are their challenges? And how can I help? And then listen. This is a critical meeting. Every executive, every manager I talk to and ask to do this, they look at me like, I ain't got time for another meeting, don't do this. Try me, test me, humor me. They come back and it's hugely impactful. Meet with your people, intentional, about them once a week. 2, annual reviews are critical. And I don't know your organization, there needs to be at least a quarterly review, informal, to just say, hey, what are our goals for the next 3 months, 90 days? Think about how companies report, 90 days. What are we trying to accomplish in the next 90 days? Here's what we did in the last 90 days. Here's where we fell short in the last 90 days. Here's what we did well. Nice little talk. And what's our goal for the next 90 days? I think it's a 1-page formal review. Build up, and then your annual review can be built by those quarterly reviews. Don't wait for an annual review. That is never going to work. And the 3rd thing that I think is critical about leading people in all these situations is to become a better listener. We're good as leaders to tell and teach and talk. Whenever we're dealing with our direct reports, we also have to take that opportunity to listen. There's an amazing amount of skill and leverage that they have that can teach us to be better leaders, help the organization succeed in its mission. So quick summary, you're a leader, you've got direct reports. At all levels of your organization, what do you need to do? You need to be intentional. That's just a change of mind. I have to realize this is just another task I have, stupid paperwork I have to do. It is about how do I lead well with people. Get your brain changed. 2, get to know yourself. Get to know yourself a little better. Understand your personality and how you influence the people you lead. 3, get to know your people. Don't let them become anonymous. Make sure they understand how relevant they are in your organization. And 3, build some metrics and clear communication of what's expected. And the last bit we're going to try to talk about, and we talked about, was building some simple systems in your work with that individual that makes sure that you're on top of what they're doing and they are being grown, developed, and succeeding. That's a weekly one-on-one. It doesn't have to be live. Hopefully it is. Not if you're people all over the country. You can't. You can do a Zoom. And if you have annual reviews in your organization, push for quarterly reviews. 1 page. Here's what's cooking the last 90 days. Here's what's going up in the next 90 days. Here's what I'd like you to accomplish in the next 90 days. And let's share. It's not a one, just down, Feedback. What do you want to get done in the next 90 days? And what didn't you do? That kind of follow-up. Boom, clear, informal. It does not have to be an hour-long meeting. God, don't make it one. This is literally a half hour. Talk about how it went, where you're going. Use those tools. That's our intentional leadership. We'll follow up with a couple other items in the next couple episodes on how we can build ourselves to be better direct managers. Remember, this is your 10-minute executive coach. I am Paul Burke with Business Acceleration. Lead well.